Good, thank you, Josh. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. And it's such a pleasure to be able to speak to you for this film because I know obviously you had a standout horror role in Supernatural and obviously you starred in Nightmare on Elm Street once upon a time. So has this return to horror been something you've been wanting for a long time now with this film?
It's definitely a genre that I've been involved with. It's been a little bit, so it was nice to kind of step back into this world for sure. It's fun, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I've got to say, as a viewer, I think this film has one of the most unique premises and settings for a horror film I've seen in some time. So was that a big part of what drew you to the story, this confined sort of story on the train?
Yeah, that and her troubling relationship with her father was something that I could personally relate to. And I love that she, steps into her power and becomes this like strong nun. Saves the day.
Yeah, absolutely. And she is quite an unorthodox nun, Sister Lou. So, how did you kind of approach playing a character like this who subverts the usual expectations of what people might expect from a sister?
Um, how did I approach it? Is that what you asked?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, my process is I do script analysis. I build backstory based off script analysis and through research and, come up with as much details as I possibly can to sort of fill that character and make that character as rich as possible. And I did the same with Sister Lou, and it was a world I hadn't really known much about. So it's, while I am doing my job, it's also very educational.
When you sit down to come up with that backstory, is that quite a lengthy process for you? Are you working with the director, the writer to come up with that, or is that just something personally that helps you?
It depends. For the most part, it's something I do on my own, and it is a very long process if you have the time for preparation like that. And I think like the more research and the more in depth you can go with detail in terms of building a backstory, the fuller the character is going to be. So it is a bit of a process, but it's something that has helped me along the way and something that I've learned as a part of my quote unquote craft, if you will. So yeah, it's something that I think is really important to the story and character.
Yeah, absolutely. And to go back to obviously the setting on a train, it's very confined, and I can imagine for you as an actor, obviously quite confined set to be in as well. Does that kind of help you get into the mindset of a character like Sister Lou when you're actually in those surroundings like that?
Yeah, the setting is certainly helpful. And so, as well as, when you're actually there in costume, that is another element of stepping into a character and getting to feel the clothing and getting to sort of embody and embrace this person you're portraying.
For sure. Now, it's quite interesting you mentioned the costume because I know another character compares you to a superhero at one point wearing the nun costume. So did it feel that way a little bit playing Sister Lou, particularly as she gets very proactive later on in the film?
Yeah, it was also sort of like I felt like a little bit of a hats off to, but I portrayed Laurel Lance or Black Canary for 8 years. So it was fun to have this, and that was in the script, before I came on board. So it was sort of like a hats off to that in a way, which was cute.
Yeah, it's a great little Easter egg. And of course, you're working with a screen icon like William H. Macy in the film. So what did you enjoy about exploring that dynamic, that relationship, and just getting to work with him on set together?
Oh, he's such a fun, cool guy. Just an interesting and wildly smart human being. We got along great, and somebody I could really look up to. And we did work out some stuff in some of those scenes, and he's someone I always have looked up to and will continue to do so. And he's an incredible actor. We were really fortunate to get him.
Yeah, for sure. And then, of course, on the opposite end, you've got a young co-star like Sky Fuller. How was it? She's such a standout in this film. She's got some great lines. How was it to work with her and to kind of work on that dynamic? A very different one to the one you obviously had with William's character.
Yeah, no, that was great as well. I mean, she's such a sweetheart, and she's also such a young talent. And I say the same thing. I think we were really fortunate in finding her, and she's that little girl. I think she's going to be a star. I think she's got a big future ahead of her.
Yeah, for sure. And did you do a lot of research coming into the film? Obviously, we've had, exorcism films before. This one, I think, is a lot different with the fact, obviously, we've got Sister Lou doing it. It establishes normally it's a priest that has to do an exorcism. So did you go into, a lot of research with that and really delve into maybe other nuns who have got involved with exorcisms?
Yeah, I definitely did a bunch of research. It is obviously something for a priest. That's just the law within the Catholic Church. The thing about Sister Lou, obviously, she's very unique, and she's got a gift, and she thinks she's going to get scolded for it, but instead, the Pope basically encourages her to embody it and to keep going with this gift that she's been given. So she's definitely unique.
Yes, absolutely. And without going into any spoilers, it feels like maybe there's potential for this story of Sister Lou to continue. And I know obviously you're a producer on the film as well. Would you like
Mhm.
to, if the opportunity presents itself, to continue telling stories with this character, do you think?
Yeah, if it all makes sense, absolutely. John Keyes was our director. He's fantastic. I get along with him great, and I really enjoyed working with him. It's a collaboration at the end of the day, and he was just so fantastic. And should it continue, I would happily be there. If John Keyes is there, sign me up.
Yes, it is a great, again, I'm not going to spoil it, but it's a great tease. It must have been a lot of fun just setting something like that up for the future as well.
Yeah, it absolutely was.
And you mentioned obviously Black Canary before, and obviously those Arrowverse shows, they're over now, but they had an incredible impact and they really did something we haven't seen on TV before. So how do you look
Mm.
back at that time now? And do you have any hopes for that character moving forward? How you'd maybe like to see her portrayed with obviously what James Gunn is doing now with Superman in those films?
Yeah, I mean, I loved playing that character. That character is so close to my heart. That time in my life is so close to my heart because we were up in Vancouver and it was 8 years of our lives, and you really working with these people day in and day out, all day, every day almost. They become your family, and the whole experience was incredible. I hope and wish, and we'll see what the future holds, but to come back to it at some point and what that may look like. And I think that given, I mean, you see everywhere now they're doing all these reboots or whatnot. Maybe there's a world in which the Arrowverse continues in some way, and maybe that is on. Maybe it is film. Maybe it's like I said, a reboot. But it's just such a strong universe and such a great fan base that it would be a shame not to give the people what they want. They want more. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And it's quite amazing that, so many superhero movies and TV shows that kind of come and go, but people do want to see that Arrowverse come back, whether it's your character, obviously Stephen Grant. It must be a nice feeling to know what an impact you made on the genre.
yeah, absolutely. And I think bringing us back together is something that would be incredible. So, put it out there in the universe to Greg Berlanti.
Fingers crossed. And back to this film, it felt like watching. It must have been quite an intense movie for you to shoot. And there's some hard moments, some quite violent moments as well. Do you remember any particularly intense days on set where it was quite a challenge to play this character?
To be honest, like every day was a challenge, and that's part of filmmaking. It's not easy, and people think it is. It's not. It's so hard, and to get a movie made, and we had such a tight shooting schedule that there was no go back to your trailer, go, or you had to be ready and you had to be there, and everybody was there working to do this together, and that is such a cool the camaraderie and the collaboration is really, it's like a high in a sense when you're there, like a thrill. It's like your adrenaline, and it's hard, but it's worth it. And it's why I do what I do.
Amazing. Well, Katie, thank you so much for taking the time to talk about the film. I had a great time watching you in this one, and I think horror fans are going to love it. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too. Such a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks, Josh. Bye.